you've already hit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Disjunct Confusion Thursday night hangout.
Excellent. Oh no.
Aha. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific cover himself, Zealeus. Hola. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Thursday Night Hangouts, a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show.
It is good
At
to
any
be
point
back
during the
on
show,
Thursday,
if you have any topics, questions, subjects, opinions, please just drop it into the chat, be it on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and we will add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without further ado,
citations, good sir.
Let us begin. And, you know, even though it's a joyous occasion that we find ourselves here on a Thursday to do the Thursday night hangout, we're going to go with some sad news. How about that? That's what it feels like, my friend. That's what it feels like. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing actor himself, Donald Sutherland, has passed. Oh.
No, don't tell me you got bad news.
In which film? Because he's been a bad guy in a lot of films.
Isn't that all there is in the world lately? It's just sad news.
We talking Hunger Games?
Sad news, bad news.
That would be President Snow. Snow White. It's close. It's close. Yeah.
He was the perfect. What was the bad guy's name? Well, thank you. Yes. Wow, my brain no worky. Yes, Hunger Games. I kept on thinking President White. I'm like, Word Association. He was the perfect President Snow.
Absolutely. So sad. It's a sad day. We lose an amazing.
The way he pulled it off, he had the perfect arrow.
A long list of
superiority.
And
yet, even when he knew he'd been defeated,
IMDb
he still
has
had
him listed
the
for 199,
especially with how it ended.
Projects as an actor.
Yeah, he was just great in that role. And other roles he's been in too, of course.
Indeed. All right, so let's go right into some. Let's change complete gears. Let's go do a 180. And for those out there who found a certain anime very interesting on Netflix, Delicious in Dungeon has been confirmed to have a second season.
That is quite prolific indeed, yes.
Delicious in Dungeon, it's fun. Yeah, and so I'm very excited to see they're going to have a second season because I will be very interested to see what other dungeon critters that they will flambe and
I think we're only talking about the story because
stew
of Charlie.
And fry and whatever else they're going to do.
I just know you mentioned it a few times that you absolutely love it.
I'm excited. Well, unfortunately, I do not have red dragon meat, readily available. Or what was the other one? Living armor. Or mandrake root.
Does this ever give you some good dinner ideas to cook around the house?
Touche, sir. Touche. Anyways, so of course. It's in production.
Quite a disappointment, sir.
Don't know when they'll actually,
I think you need to go hunt harder in your free time.
Release date for.
They exist in Harry Potter, so ergo they exist in real life.
There is news all over the place stating that there's going to be a second season. So. Yes. Now. Man, I feel like I'm ping-ponging back and forth between happy news and sad news. Yes. So there is there was a gentleman that
sometime in the
was
2020s.
Quite the YouTuber called the Comicstorian. He was how do I describe it?
Oh, so I'm guessing we're getting some sad news now.
He basically did dramatic comic book readings. He did audio dramas featuring characters from DC and Marvel. He had nearly 4,000 videos in his decade of YouTubing, and he has unfortunately tragically passed. It was a one-car accident where apparently his car flipped several times. So it is very unfortunate. Also, it's one of those few YouTubers who actually added like
Wow.
worthwhile content to this world instead of the
Oh,
mass like crap
yikes.
crap ton of junk that's on there.
That is very
It's literally
unfortunate
just like
indeed.
clickbait. Yeah. Watch me throw a rock off this bridge and see what happens. Oh no, look. It's so silly. We broke someone's windshield. Oh my god. Aren't we crazy?
You mean the
No.
shock value of basically what it takes now to be a star?
Yeah. But yeah. All right, we're gonna do. I think this is the nope. Let's just get all the bad stuff out of the way, shall we? I'm sorry.
Yeah, car crashes.
Just
no good.
just to try to get all the bad stuff out of the way.
Flipping.
There is a game company called Galvanic Games. Their true claim to fame was Wizard with a Gun. They have, huh?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry,
they
sir. In the first
unfortunately
15
had
minutes
to
of the show,
release a
it's a good thing I'm
statement
drinking.
saying it's with a heavy heart that we announced the closure of our studio, despite the promising start of Wizard with a Gun. Sales are not strong enough to sustain the studio. The last year has been particularly tough for games. While we had numerous encouraging conversations at
Not
DICE
heard of it,
and
gonna be honest.
GDC, the process of signing new projects,
I've not
even
heard of
in a
it, gonna
good
be
year,
honest.
takes longer than the runway we had left. Working with Devolver Digital, which is the publisher, was a dream come true for us. Together we created a game I'm incredibly proud of. There is a certain bittersweetness to knowing that we accomplished all the things we set out to do when we founded Galvanic in 2015, so it's been around for 9 years. From launching unique, weird, and interesting games to collaborating with some of my favorite people in the industry, all while building a tight-knit, productive team focused on a healthy and creative culture. They, of course, are this is a letter from the president, Patrick Morgan, and of course, he is in the process of trying to help all those individuals who are being displaced because of the studio closure. They're trying very, very hard. He's trying very, very hard to help them find a landing spot. So he's not going to leave them high and dry. He's going to try his best. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Now, one more, and then I promise we're going to talk about something happy. I promise. Now, this one is kind of sad, but at the same time,
companies like that close because
it revolves around a topic that Zealeus and I have been talking a lot about. Of course, it's a topic that's
not
been
within exit plan,
like
so
front
to speak,
and center in a lot of the different media industry. Like video games and books and art and TV shows and movies, and that, of course, is AI. The latest thing is Disney Plus just recently released a show called Star Wars Acolyte, and it is getting completely reviewed bombed to hell. Now, why did I say AI? And now why am I talking about review bomb? Well, it turns out that someone is out there utilizing AI generated reviews. Basically they're using like a chat GPT or something that basically does basic plot synopsis, made from brand new accounts, and of course giving them like 0 stars. Because look, here's the deal. It's a cattail. Okay, and now back to the Star Wars stuff.
Oh.
No, the thing is, Star Wars universe has been around for a long, long time. Okay, and they want to continue to evolve it. And I know they've retcons of stuff, and then like, if you go back on a retcon, just like
we have a guest on
like unretcon, like how does that work? But de-retcon, or do you the retcon? Retcon. Anyways, so AI is
decon, de-retcon. Retcon.
Yeah. Yep. Hitting up IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Metacritic. Yeah.
So instead of using like individuals, because in the past you've had video games where it's like you and I go, I mean, we don't actually do it, but you have like the actual real person going on like Steam and giving it, what is it, thumbs down with a terrible review. But now you're having basically a AI overlord creating accounts to do the same thing, is essentially what's happening. Yeah, that's where it's tricky. Like even like
right,
being able to rely on Amazon reviews nowadays is a very sketchy proposition because there's so many fake accounts that created by, real people, competitors potentially, in terms of sabotage.
Right.
It can be really hard to know, like, what is a real review versus a fake review. Even like slightly related, I watched Rebel Moon Part 2 when it came out.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible. So for fun, I started watching some YouTube reviews of like how bad it is, right? Just because I thought it was funny. And since then, because YouTube likes to create its algorithm based off of what you watched, now I always see this ad for this one show, for this one YouTube channel. I'm not going to name it because don't need to get in a pissing match. But basically, you can tell that their whole shtick is basically flaming anything that's not just
huge supporters of Michael Bay movies.
Homeboys going around blowing shit up. Anything other than that is like basically a woke agenda. It's one of those reviews. You can just tell by like the highlights of the reviews that they don't like anything that's anything outside of like normal relationships.
You know what the funny thing is?
Or just normal
speaking
stuff
of Bad Boys 2,
blowing
I know
I'm just like, okay, you clearly have an agenda. That now I'm seeing.
Hollywood has decided that
pretty much, yes. Like
they
were super excited by, which I saw
as
was
a
terrible
result
movie, by
of
the
the
way.
new
The
Bad Boys. So he's now being tagged in a new sci-fi.
And they gave
movie.
it high praise because you could tell that it was mindless. I'm like, okay, I know everything I need to know about this channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's what. So I've watched all the Bad Boys movies. Usually I like them. Like the first Bad Boys, it's one of the best action flicks. Like it is truly good. But this one, it just tried too hard. Like I feel like in the past, like the jokes and like the the buddy cop thing, like it was organic. It just kind of worked in the flow of the, like it was an action film first that had the good like back and forth banter, and it worked. Even like the first one had Tia Leone, and like they just had perfect chemistry, and it worked. Whereas in this one, it's like they tried making it a comedy first, that then threw in action sequences. It's like they reversed it, and I dislike it when movies do that because it's obvious, and when they're trying really hard to have the jokes, to me, they fall flat in that regard. So that's my take on the new Bad Boys movie. Was not very impressed with it. Anyways, going back, because that's all I've seen of Acolyte, is basically I haven't actually watched the reviews, but I can tell like all the YouTube reviews have trashed it. And to be fair, most of those YouTube channels, you can tell, to your point, the videos that get the most likes on their channels are the ones that are basically trashing TV shows, whatever they are. You kind of look through there, you can like view by popularity, and it's always like, this was terrible. Tend to be the reviews from any channel that get the most views, which I think is kind of telling also. It's kind of the issue you have with sports journalism nowadays, where it's like the TV shows that they get the most hits are the ones that have the most brain dead, not even controversial, just brain dead, stupid opinions. I'm not calling them controversial because they're just fucking dumb, but that's what gets the eyeballs.
I'm
assuming that, and I don't think that what you're talking about is any different. Where they know that having a review bomb is what gets the eyeballs. And it's unfortunate because people are going to see that, and that's what they take as being
figured out
true,
how to get around that,
basically.
Or these sites don't have the CAPTCHA, which I fucking hate CAPTCHA. Where there is a will, yeah. Yep.
I mean, will there's a way, where there is a will, there's a way. And it's like one thing if you're having to go to a bunch of, I think like, because they issue a lot of websites, a lot of automated bots, their issue with CAPTCHAs is when you, let's just say you're looking at 100 websites with a spider, right? If 50 of those have CAPTCHAs, you can't spend your time figuring out all 50 of those CAPTCHAs. But in this case, they're probably just going to like 1 or 2 review websites like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And now you have to worry about is automating that one CAPTCHA is a very different scale. Or maybe you just have one person where, I mean, it could be just job of one person. Okay, AI rates the fake review. I'm just clicking, right? The fake review, clicking. That's probably more than likely what's happened. Review comes up in 2 seconds and just it takes me half a second to click. And it's probably the same place every single time. So, yeah. And the other part that sucks is like, I love looking at reviews, but when it's clear, especially like video games, I spend a lot of time looking at reviews. I feel like for the most part, Steam has a pretty reliable user base.
Right.
Because you can read the reviews,
and
right?
Also
like,
if
you can kind of tell pretty
key,
quickly like whether or not they're copy and pasted versus whether or not they're kind of like legitimate reviews. So I still rely heavily on Steam for my reviews. Because you also have to purchase it through Steam or have a key, or if you have like a key, like a free key, it tells you also from the review.
I know it's all.
So I know. Yeah, so I think that helps. Where
I have not.
Where you have a cost of entry definitely makes a difference.
What have I been
to be able to leave a review?
I've been watching. Ninja Kamui.
Yeah. It's hard to know what's true anymore, man. Are the reviews fake? Are they real? I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you seen Acolyte? I don't even know. I don't think it's less than much.
I'm sorry. Every single time I think White Collar, I immediately want to go back and rewatch Chuck.
I have been rewatching White Collar. It's like the perfect lunch show. And then you get done with lunch and you have half an episode to watch. So naturally that evening you have to finish up that half episode. But oh wait, there's a cliffhanger. So you gotta know what's happening in the next episode.
Yep.
That's fair. That's totally legitimate.
What about Morgan?
Chuck is
or Jeffster, man.
Chuck
what about the band Jeffster?
I was actually watching it on Amazon Prime at one time.
Anyways,
then I think it went off. It might be on again.
The next topic,
which I'm not going
to do. This is going to be an opinion one for Zealeus, and that is,
I love you,
ladies
Chuck,
and gentlemen,
and Sarah, and Casey.
We knew this is coming, but the IOC, that would be
okay, you're right. Yeah.
the International Olympic Committee
Sorry, man. There's just
is
so many great people I can't
set
remember
to
them all.
vote on the creation of Olympic esports games. All right.
No. Sorry, just no. Like, I mean,
I thought chess was.
maybe I'm old
I
school
thought that
or
was
traditionalist, but I
either
think
going to be in
Olympics,
this
and I
one
think
or in the next one.
I think robots, like BattleBots, should be in the Olympics before esports. And I don't think, and to be clear, I don't think BattleBots should be in the Olympics either. But, or hell, chess should be in the Olympics before esports. Is it? Well, they do this weird thing now where, like, I guess or maybe they've always done it, I don't know. But I know they keep on, like, adding and taking out sports. And, like, I know they had softball one year. And then, like, I don't even know. They took out wrestling, which I don't know how you take wrestling from Olympics. I'm sorry. Like, wrestling is the OG Olympic sport. And obviously the marathon. But, like, I don't know how you take out wrestling. Anyways, sorry. Like, and this isn't taking away from esports. Like, I'm fine with esports as a livelihood, etc. If you can do it, but to me, Olympics should be a showcase of physical prowess. Any sports has many things, but sorry, the ability to use your thumbs and fingers alone on a mouse and keyboard to me is not an Olympic sport. It's just not. Sorry, I know. God, if I had a stick, I'd wave it at you to get off my damn lawn. So my answer is unequivocally no. I guess the interesting question would be, if they did esports, what would it be? Would it be Call of Duty? Would it be League of Legends?
Okay, so
would it be Overwatch? Like, what would it actually be if they did an esport? I don't know if they actually mentioned
chess
that, but
will be a part of the Paris Olympics this summer.
But no, in no world do I consider esports.
So will breaking,
Olympic
surfing,
sport.
skateboarding, and sport
That's just
climbing.
my old traditionalist get off my lawn boomer opinion.
I don't know. I'm gonna click on this link and try to figure out what the hell breaking is. Yeah, it's breakdancing. We'll be at the Olympics.
Okay, that is news to me. Breakdancing? Yeah.
And skateboard, they're just trying to kill
those all
the
require
X Games.
athletic feats of strength and endurance and et cetera, et cetera. And I know people be like, but it takes endurance to play for hours on it. Okay, whatever. Get off my lawn.
Sean White.
I'm okay with those. I mean, rock climbing, yes, that's hardcore sport. Surfing, you try go out to fucking surf. Good luck. I remember when the X Games were huge in the 90s, man. Like Tony Pastrana, you had Tony White, what's his name? Sean White. I mean,
baseball and softball.
Tony Hawk, obviously. I mean, those guys were like living gods for a while with their popularity.
I knew they took it away
Games.
During the COVID Olympics.
So those being in, sure, go for it. Adding them to the Olympics. My guess is those will be some that like get changed in and out. Because it seems that's kind of like the theme now. It's kind of add and take away some sports, see what sticks, I guess.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know.
To be honest with you,
I could go either way on baseball and softball being Olympics. I mean,
it's an audience.
Like I'm okay with them being an Olympic
to get
sport,
the younger
but like
kids,
if they're not in there,
that's
like a big
into
to
the
me.
digital gaming space.
What do
that's not to say
what do you
that,
think of the esports
there's
being in the
not
Olympics?
kids out there who are growing up who are becoming weightlifters and surfers and skateboarders. There's still got those, but you got a lot of people at home who all they do is game, or all they do is watch YouTube videos of people game, or Twitch, or name some other streaming website. But if it, yeah. That's a very good question.
So the basically there's I see two problems with it. One is, I think I'm totally stereotyping here. Are South Koreans still the masters of like esports in general? Because for a while they were like when esports were kind of nascent, they dominated the scene. Because remember, esports, if it's in the Olympics, they're going to be by country, and so like.
Okay, here we
it's
go.
Gonna be
I found the top
very
10.
Few countries.
I've got the top 10 for the best countries for 2024.
Whatever it is, if it's Call of Duty, League of, it doesn't matter.
Let's start
like it's
at
gonna
10.
be very small. It's gonna be like
so we can do the count.
South Korea, China.
Number 10.
I'm guessing Japan, probably
Canada.
United States. Like it's gonna be a
Number
very
9.
small subset
Germany.
of countries.
Number 8.
Not gonna have
France.
any success.
Okay. I don't see that as a.
Let's go.
Yeah. Number 7, Sweden.
Okay, I like it.
Number 6, Denmark.
All right.
Number 5. Here's a little bit of a different one. Brazil.
Okay.
Number 4, Russia.
Sure.
I don't know.
We're just picking random European countries now. Let's go.
Yes, but
more European countries.
Yeah, it's
let's go Netherlands
you
area.
cannot represent your country, but you are.
Okay, I'm not surprised about that.
So Russia is
that
number
makes
4.
Sense.
Number 3. Wait, that can't be right.
Are they even allowed to compete in the Olympics? I don't even know.
Japan's not in the top 10? That can't be right.
Well,
Anyways, number 3 is South Korea. Number 2 is USA. And number 1, by a large margin, is China.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the top 3 since Japan, you think would be in there.
Well,
like that makes total sense to me.
Some of the
it's going to be a very lopsided thing, but would be interesting in that
I totally
like you look at esports teams, they're usually made up of like
what the name of the game
it's a cosmopolitan
right now,
type of team.
They're
and
one
have
of the
it
top
truly
teams.
by country.
I think it's like
could be kind of interesting to see actually.
They got like one American. I think it's a 5v5 with 2 alternates. So it's 1 American, 2 South Koreans, someone a Denmark guy, China, and maybe like Italy or something is the starting 5. I mean, it is an internet. I mean, esports has gone, of course, international, but. Yeah.
And I'm assuming going on here, Olympics aren't being hosted on YouTube
or Twitch. They're gonna be on Peacock.
And what's the only way like anybody under 18 basically watches anything nowadays?
On YouTube.
Or Twitch if you're watching esports.
Right.
But I think the other thing you actually mentioned a really good point when you mentioned how do kids watch. And I'm assuming going on here, Olympics aren't being hosted on YouTube or Twitch. And what's the only way like anybody under 18 basically watches anything nowadays? Or Twitch if they're watching esports.
To be totally honest with you,
so
the
you're
Olympic
right.
committee
I
would
agree.
have
It's
to
totally
do a
an
deal
eye
with the
grabber
streaming
for
platform.
the younger
And
generation.
I'm not talking about Peacock.
But if it's not on,
I know they have a deal with
something that
NBC.
is readily
NBC's
available right
being a
here. I
bunch
mean, I
of
know you can get Peacock,
dickweeds
obviously,
and going,
but basically
most
it's
of the
right here on
stuff
my
that you
Twitch
want
or
to watch is
YouTube.
going to be on
Like,
Peacock, so
honestly,
you need
they're
to sign
not
up
going to
for
even probably know what's going on. I mean, you might know what's going on, but they're not going to care.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they're definitely all in on making Peacock a sports. They want people to subscribe because of sports. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny
Yeah,
because
so it'll be
they're trying
interesting
to
to
pull in a new
see,
crowd, but they want to
but
keep
I
the old
highly
model.
doubt. My guess is NBC/Peacock is not going to give up any streaming rights because they're going to put their blinders on, and be like, "Nope, we paid $80 billion for it, therefore it's all going to be on us," and cannot diversify at all because it's a bunch of old promogenies who don't really. Yeah, you're right. It needs to be on.
I think the other thing is that
probably
on,
Twitch
on
or
those
YouTube, but I'd
two
be shocked
streaming
if it
platforms
is.
that
That's
you
just kinda
that you listed,
I think it'd be awesome. Like,
there's
honestly,
also
like,
a chat room
I don't care what sport it is
that goes
if
along with it.
Esport was on
So you
Twitch or
have a
YouTube,
lot
I'd
more
tune in and watch it because
interaction.
that'd actually
and,
be really cool to see. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna come watch it, and there'll be ads. Cool. Like, I would check that out and see what it's all about.
Yes, it would. Now, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking because a lot of the esports games out there are team based. So if you're gonna trying to go to represent your country,
that could be some interesting moderation. But yeah,
it would be very interesting because
so the more I
feel
think
like
about it, I still don't think esports should be an Olympic
produce
sport.
better
But I gotta be honest,
DPS
it'd be interesting to watch.
or better tanks or better healers or better support. And so you have like maybe this world-renowned team of all these amazing people, but everyone plays like flank or DPS or something. And their weakness is whatever. Yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I remember.
Well, I know it
I don't
happens
know
in other
if
team
anyone
sports, like
remembers
say
out there,
basketball, but it also be a
many years
situation
ago
of
when
going up
you had
against like your
DraftKings
esport teammate in the
FanDuel
Olympics.
trying to
Would be
dip
kind of
their
like
toe into the
entertaining.
esports pool.
Especially
I
like
was into that.
people who really
I
follow
barely
esports would probably
watched
get a kick out of it.
like esports, and then I kind of had this. Now I had a stake. The fantasy betting type of situation. I don't think that exists anymore, but it was fun for the year it was there. Anyways, okay, moving on. But and I guess okay. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I think that as long as the IOC, it's interesting that they're thinking about doing esports, but until they're willing to be super duper flexible on how they stream, like Zealeus and I were talking about, yeah, you can add new stuff to the Olympics to try to pull in the newer crowd, but the newer crowd does not watch stuff like the older people do. I almost said we, but I'm not old. Gosh darn it. Well, you keep telling yourself that too, sir. Because soon enough, you'll join the ranks of slightly older. Again. Whatever, man. All right, we're going to pause for half a second to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore.
You keep telling yourself that,
give
sir.
some shout-outs to the friends of the show. And to start it off, we have the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That would be Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next one I've got to give a shout out to is a gentleman who is actually here today to help adjust and take away all those aches and pains from long gaming sessions, both IRL and behind the keyboard and mouse. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic's unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on the mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original supporter of Alter Confusion when we started our Patreon page, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he's the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, of course, at this point, you've got to be asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? I must know. Well, it's quite simple, my friends. You can become a friend of the show by becoming a patron. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, vampires, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. There are currently 2 levels that you can pledge at. There is the $1 a month level. It's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling extra frisky and you want your name in the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, there's the $5 tier. It's $5 a month or $60 a year, and that gets your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday hangout, as well as everything at the $1 level. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/alteredconfusion today. The last Alter Confusion shout-out we also have got to talk about is, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 13 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. Whoop, there we go. All right. Now, also, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a sweet piece of Ultra Confusion merchandise. All you got to do, like, I'm not wearing my hat, but we've got an Ultra Confusion hat, a vinyl sticker, a dog bowl, a coffee cup, a journal, sandals. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you can see the whole host of awesome Ultra Confusion stuff you can have. No, I do not. But I was actually planning on getting the dog bowl within the next week because we need a new dog bowl for one of my dogs. So we're gonna Ultra Confusion it, baby. All right.
Do you own all of those yet?
There is one more bit of sad news for some. For
How is that
others,
possible, sir?
it's going to be a head scratcher. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to report that an MMO that has been running for many years, and by many years, I mean 10 years, ArchAge is shutting down on June 27th, 2024. So you have a week to play ArchAge or get your, jump back in, see if there's any end of life events. The developers behind the game, KCOW Games, is offering refunds to some players who purchased the game before the announcement. So I'm assuming it's probably within a certain amount of time. Like if you bought the game in the past year, then they're probably going to give you a refund. Would be my guess, but I don't know. This game was considered a sand park RPG, which of course means that it was a sandbox content and a theme park playstyle. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I've never played the game, so I couldn't tell you if that's actually true or if they were just trying to go for buzzwords. Mm-hmm.
I remember ArchAge came out and I briefly played it for like not even a month probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, this is another World of Warcraft clone basically. That's how I felt about it. Like, I know they tried doing things differently, but as far as like the combat and everything else went, I was just like, I remember when I got burnt out from WoW, I remember ArchAge came out and I briefly played it for like not even a month probably. And I was like, well, this is another World of Warcraft clone, basically. That's how I felt about it. Like, I know they tried doing things differently, but as far as like the combat and everything else went, I was just like, oh, wow, it's the same thing. Because it's kind of that theme park. I know they tried doing a little bit more sandboxy for player agency, but overall, it just felt like another WoW clone, of which there have been many over the years, and many of which have failed because they're not basically WoW or Final Fantasy 14. And then they basically kind of just tread water for years, or it can be like, oh, what is that game called?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. There's an MMO. I can't think of it now at the top of my head, but Blessed gets released. I don't know heard of it, but it's an MMO. And it gets re-released every like 3 years under like Blessed Unleashed. Blessed, I don't know, a new title of Blessed. And it's like a revamp of it. And they keep on like trying to do the same exact game that has epically failed
epic
3 years ago. Yeah.
Let's
but again, it's just like playing WoW or Final Fantasy 14. It's just kind of MMO. So I played it. I tried it.
There was a
10 years ago.
Money projection released
I have
about
no
how
idea
much
what it's
money
like in the last 9.5 years.
Warner Brothers Studios has lost
but
over
when
the
I came
video
out, I
game
got bored of it
Suicide
pretty quickly.
Squad Killed the Justice League. You want to take a guess at how much money they have lost since they released it? God dang it! Are you reading the article? Because yes, it's exactly 200. It is $200 million. It is $25 million more than the original 2016 movie cost to make.
$200 million. I think I've ever seen that headline somewhere, to be honest. like I really wonder, like when they make this game, just like, did anybody actually play test the game? Like, did they actually give it to a person outside the four walls of Warner Brothers who aren't just yes people because they don't want to lose their jobs? Nothing up against them, but I get it. You don't want to lose your job. So, like, did they actually have any play testers or any actual feedback to be like whether or not this was a good or bad game? Because, like all the Batman Arkham games, we know it's possible to have a good game in the DC universe. Yes, it always sucks because the other thing you get when you get a game like this that's put so much money into it, it's also going to make developers and publishers in the future much more hesitant to put big time resources into a game, particularly a novel game, a different game, a unique game, because they're going to look at this as the poster child of losing too much money. And so they're just going to want to go create Call of Duty 18, Assassin's Creed 42, Pokemon Neon Green versus Plaid. They're just going to keep on making iterations of a franchise. Now, granted, this is part of the Arkham, so it's already kind of in that world, but it just creates more and more pressure not to do something interesting.
From what I've heard,
or have a new franchise come out. So,
ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something. When you are trying to create any type of product,
I mean, when you look at epic fails, you look at the player base. It was like I remember reading the stats. It was like 2,000 people within a couple of weeks. It was just absolutely ridiculous numbers.
Apparently, one of the biggest problems was that everything kept pivoting, and then on like different. The game was supposed to be first and foremost a melee type game, and then when it was released, it's more gun oriented. There was just stuff that was. It was one of those situations that it's what it sounds like, that one of the big wigs were going, you know what would be cool if we did this like this game does. And apparently the guy who was the game director literally would take months to review like changes and updates. So they couldn't get sign off on any of this stuff. Yeah, hell yeah.
Especially if you got like people above you making choices, and I mean, probably a lot of the game developers, like they probably saw these changes, were like, "This is dumb. This is not going to work." But when the big wig above you tell you to do something, that's frustrating. And especially if you got like people above you making choices. And I mean, probably a lot of the game developers, like they probably saw these changes. We're like,
no idea.
This is dumb. This is not going to work. But when the big wig above you is telling you to do something, what do you do? Okay.
Probably because Warner Bros. won't
I wonder what is the cost of
for
this team right
discount.
now? Because
they're going to try to make back their money. Several employees adopted the term toxic positivity to describe the culture of the company.
Like right now,
which
Suicide Squad,
criticism.
Kill the Justice League, it's still $70 on Steam. Yeah, I mean, that could be, it's tough because, you know, at any company, if you're an employee, it is really hard to create a culture where, particularly when you have people above you,
Yep.
Can, cut your strings at any time, creating a culture where you can give your and yeah, I mean, that could be, it's tough because, you know, at any company, if you're an employee, it is really hard to create a culture where, particularly when you have people above you who can, cut your strings at any time, creating a culture where you can give your honest, constructive feedback about decisions you don't agree with, knowing that you're able to make your voice heard without any repercussions. They might not listen to you, and that's fine. I mean, but at least be able to say what your piece is to give your feedback. I think it's an important part of a company culture. So, like, I think everyone wants to work at a company. Not everyone, but most people who are saying want to work at a company where there is a positive culture. But I think there's a difference, to your point, of positive culture and a
Right.
toxic positivity where it discourages negative feedback, because like constructive feedback and criticism of decisions that make no sense are a good thing. Now, obviously, if you're going like, well, this is bloody retarded, and this you're a moron for making this decision, obviously, it's not the right way to approach it. Like, there's certainly good ways to do it, but if you're just like, this is not a good decision because of reason X, Y, Z. Look at this as an example. You come like working for a company who allows that type of positive, constructive feedback. I think it's good for company morale, if anything, honestly, because then employees feel like they can actually give their honest feedback and not walking on eggshells every day.
And you've got to be in an environment where.
So, to your point, maybe not surprising at all if there is that type of feedback loop where you're not allowed to give criticism.
It's actually going to be taken into consideration.
And everybody's afraid to speak up when they see bad decisions being made. Yeah, I mean, for me, even if it's not taken into consideration, I can honestly be fine with it, because it's like, at least I got my voice heard. I think it's more so, are the bigwigs above me, do they have such a fragile ego? Because I think that's what a lot of it comes down to, honestly, is the bigwigs, if they have such that fragile ego, that's, I think, where you become. Well, I think that's where that trepidation of being able to give your opinion is. Because if it's not my opinion, imagine I'm the bigwig, I have my opinions, and now you, Charlie, give me that opinion, and I'm now threatened by your opinion because it disagrees with my Sermon on the Mount, my almighty opinion. And to be able to have the humility as a leader, realizing I don't know everything.
It's called SoulMask. It is it's an online survival game, and if you do naughty no-no things in it,
work culture and all that fun stuff.
Of course, you can no longer play the game. You get a permanent ban or a temp ban. But the developers are taking it a step further, and I want Zealeus' opinion on this. Not only, of course, are they banning these individuals, but the developers are posting a list that goes into detail of both the reason for the ban and the Steam ID of the player, though some digits are removed to make sure that the exact account cannot be identified. What do you think, Zealeus? I think I'm glad that they're not giving exact Steam IDs out. I mean, that could get super toxic, but I'm sure that you could kind of put two and two together by if you've got a buddy with a name like, I don't know, Bubbles, the Booger Monkey 0572, and you see Bubbles, the Booger Monkey, and doing it for, I don't know, wall hacks or something. You can kind of figure it out. Yeah.
But at the same time, I also feel like sometimes too information is not actually. We were just talking about toxic positivity.
Yep.
Like, this could just create toxic negativity.
Yep.
Like, almost create too much of a negative feedback loop. Yeah, but I think transparency is a good thing. but at the same time, I also feel like sometimes too information is not actually. We were just talking about toxic positivity. Like this could just create toxic negativity, like almost create too much of a negative feedback loop. Like if they give general reasons, like, you know, they got banned for wall hacks, banned for duping, cool, whatever. But I think you start getting that detailed, I think that can definitely lead to the negative unintended consequences.
Or you have people with way too much time on their hands, and they
I would be okay if they just posted the reason and
do
they had
internet
zero
sleuthing and
identifiable
find
information.
the Steam ID numbers.
Because at that point, when they start listing names, even with digits omitted, then it becomes like a puzzle game. Or you get worse, where like the wrong account gets outed for it.
Right. Though I do have a question, and I don't know the answer to this.
Like you can troll through and figure out. Like,
I've never been banned from a game.
Own that game.
If I get banned from a game that's on Steam,
you could actually be like, these are missing.
It's still listed as my game, right? It doesn't revoke my access.
These
it's just
missing,
when I try to log in.
These identifiable digits is this one account. Voila, we know whose account it is. So I'm not. Yeah. I would think so.
Never know. Never know. Anyways, it's called SoulMask. Yes, let's not do that.
I would assume, yeah, it's just at the authentication level when you go to the online server that you get locked.
Let's talk about one other game on Steam that is causing all kinds of weird stuff to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not tried the game Banana,
remind me not to get banned from
on
SoulMask.
Steam, I don't know what to tell you. I haven't. I'll be totally honest with you, but apparently it is literally a banana that you click.
One of my goals
in life. When you click enough on it, you can open up the ability to gain new skins to spice up your banana. And apparently some skins can be, I think they might be tradable, maybe?
What game?
And you can make Mune. Apparently, let's see here. While most skins might sell for 3 cents, some prices have increased to dozens, even hundreds of dollars. The top skin for in Banana, the game, is around $1,200.
Honestly, that's kind of cool. If they were to come up with it looks like a clicker game.
Yep.
So if they're able to create a unique take on it, it sounds like I guess it's driven by the community. I say cool.
Now the problem is that I think I don't know what the concurrent number
honestly,
is right now, but
that's
at the time
cool.
of this article that I'm reading,
they were to
it
come up with it looks like a clicker game.
Players.
So if they're able to create a unique take on it,
the vast
it
majority
sounds like
of
I guess
them
it's driven by the
bots
community. I say cool.
with a script that just basically clicks all day, all night, so that you can get those rare loot drops.
Those are easy to do. To have a clicker on your device and just click nonstop.
Okay, so I just scrolled down the article. It said that only a third of the users are actual users. The rest are bots. So 2/3 of the 400,000 are just
have like
somebody's bots.
Those are easy to do.
Click
to have a clicker on your device and just click nonstop.
Banana. Sometimes it's the simplest stuff that does the best.
Remember, one of the first big clicker games was Cookie Clicker.
Yep.
And you're literally clicking a cookie. So that's all it takes, like a simple
Nice.
idea that catches on. It looks like from this game, like they're heavily leveraging Discord to help create these banana skins. And like remember one of the first big clicker games was Cookie Clicker. and you're literally clicking a cookie. So that's all it takes, like a simple novel idea that catches on. It looks like from this game, like they're heavily leveraging their
So there has been
Discord
some
help
movie
create these
news
banana
as of
skins.
late. There is going
And
to
like
apparently be
that's
another
a great way of
Uncharted
engaging your
movie,
community and
which,
creating
as
that
you're
like
on our Discord channel,
feedback loop of then they tell their
you
friends
know
to go
that
get their
I
banana
thought the
skins. I
movie
think
was
it's
great,
rad.
but
I
I
love
don't
it.
think that it should have been called Uncharted. And I still hold fast to the fact that Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake. I don't care if he thinks that's what his character's name is. It's not Nathan Drake. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You know what's funny is like the preview of Borderlands. It's like from the producers of 3 mediocre movies, basically. Like Uncharted, I forget that, like Venom, and like one other movie where I was like, I'm not sure that would be my go-to advertising, honestly. Um, like Uncharted, it was a
To be
movie.
honest with you, the
Like,
thing that I'm most
I saw it.
surprised about
I
is
was
that
mostly
apparently
entertained for
there's
2
going to
hours,
be a
but
sequel
it's
to
not something
Spaceballs.
that I would put in my highlight reel. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I don't need another Uncharted, but am I surprised they're making another Uncharted? No.
Yeah, exactly. It's a money grab. It's an absolute money grab. Yeah. Blazing
saw that.
Saddles and
apparently
Running
Mel
Men
Brooks is
Tights.
involved, and I forgot that Mel Brooks was still alive. Like, that's how I feel about it.
Yep.
Because, like, I mean, like we grew up on the Mel Brooks movies, like Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yes, like great movies, and then you got into the whole terrible, scary movie thing, where they just
to be
had
honest with you,
endless retreads of
I just
terrible
was thinking about
parodies.
this. Do you know how many of the actors that
I'm
were in
hoping
the
that
original Spaceballs are
Spaceballs
dead
2,
now?
I'm just calling it that, gets
A
back
lot.
to the original good parody that Mel Brooks is known
know.
for,
No,
and
really
not
bad
just terrible, trashy, bad parodies. I'm not hopeful.
No, they sadly will not be in there. But anyways. Yeah. And then Zealeus made mention of the Borderlands trailer.
That makes me
they
feel
have
bad.
officially come out with the rating for the Borderlands movie, and it's going to be the dreaded PG-13.
Well, I guess they won't be in the sequel.
Nor am I. Yeah. But okay. This is what drives me nuts. You have you're creating something based on a property that is R or mature rated, because video games are rated M for mature.
I'm not surprised.
And then you basically give it a T rating.
Disappointed,
but
maybe,
on the
but
movie
not
side, so PG-13.
impressed.
Yep. Yeah.
And we've shown for movies like Deadpool that a well done rated R movie will still get eyeballs.
So what you're
that's the
telling me
thing,
is
like,
it's going to be
It's
shit.
not like PG-13 is all of a sudden this panacea of success in eyeballs. No, if anything, making a PG-13 to cater towards kids
I was
actually dilutes your
excited
product,
when it was first announced that
and
there was
then
going to be a
people like you
Borderlands
and I,
movie,
who would
and I saw
otherwise
some
be
of the
interested,
casting.
are
I'm like,
going to be
all
more
right.
like,
Then I saw some more casting. I'm like,
eh.
okay. And then I saw some of the stuff. I'm like, okay. And now the PG-13 rating. I'm like, call me when it's on Prime or on
but
Netflix
I would
or
put
something.
if I were a betting man, yes. I mean,
Mhm.
the trailer looked fun, but it's also very easily one of those things where like
Yeah.
the 2-minute trailer is literally the best and only good 2 minutes of the movie. Would also not
Yeah.
be surprising. Yeah. It's
Yep.
kind of like I worry it's going to be honestly like the new Bad Boys 2 movie where they try to have all these funny jokes and then have some action around it. So it feels kind of forced and campy versus the other way around
Yep.
where, I mean, Borderlands, it's all about going around and blowing shit up, right? But then you have these crazy zany characters who give you like a reprieve from that. And that's
Yep.
why I like it because like it's a release
Right,
from the game
absolutely.
itself. Even your interactions with the enemies are the same way. Like you're going around fragging all these people, all of a sudden they like say crazy lines to you. You're like, okay, and you blow them up.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid it's gonna be the other way around, where in the movie it's gonna be like, ha, I'm the evil guy. I'm gonna make funny jokes at you, and then I shoot you once.
I think
And it's like it's gonna, but not in a good
really
way.
just
So that's my worry. Is it's gonna try
unless
being
unless
this
someone wants
campy,
to
corny,
gift me a
funny
ticket, I
movie
think I'll just wait for streaming at this point.
first, and that just yeah. We'll see. It's definitely I'm going to see what the
Yeah.
reviews are before I even thinking about seeing it. Well,
Right.
that's why I saw Bad Boys. I was with my dad and we wanted to see a movie. I'm like, sure, Bad Boys is out, so we saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm
long
saying.
gone are the days
Outside of that, I generally
"Oh,
don't go
I'm
to see movies
bored.
in the
I'll go to the
theater
movie theater."
anyways. I did see Mad Max, which was great. But like if
Thank you.
it's known to be a big movie theater movie, that's a little bit different to me. Borderlands, I don't care if it's in
No.
the theater or in my
No,
home. But
no, thank you.
yeah.
Real quick, Zealeus, what are you gonna be playing, my friend?
Well, I mean,
Mhm,
of course, there's
mhm.
also the cost of it now, where it's like $15 to see a movie and everything else that goes into it. I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
So I did finish up the Final Fantasy 14 expansion main story quest lines. I need
Mhm, mhm.
to finish up Diablo 4 before season 5, and I don't think that's going to happen. But over my sojourn through the Midwest,
Yep.
I was
Yep.
playing a lot of Civilization 6 on my Switch.
I am still
It
playing a
was the
shit ton of Phase
perfect
2.
like respite
So I think I
on
talked about
vacation
this.
July.
You start in the
Hold it out.
crossroads. You're basically in an
So yeah, that's what I'll be
in-between
playing.
spot. And
I
this
know I've been
game,
saying that
instead
for a
of
while now
going
with
only one direction,
Final
because
Fantasy
in the
14
first Hades,
Diablo, but it's like
you're
when you get in
basically
that
going
content
from
and there's
the
new content coming
bowels
out, you
of
gotta get ready for
hell
the
up
content.
to the actual terra firma to go see your mom. This one, you're the crossroads is basically kind of like a midway point, and half the game you're trying to go back down into the bowels, and then half the game you are headed to Mount Olympus to help out the gods with the problem. And I have made it all the way down to the bottom and got my ass handed to me by that boss every single time, because he definitely has one of those dreaded final boss. I change. Oh yeah. I was like, yes, I finally got him. It's like, oh, now we're really gonna get serious. Like, no, I didn't get him. And then going in the Mount Olympus direction, it is not as well. They haven't done as much in that direction. So
Oh
when you're going
no.
for the crossroads down, you have 4 bosses. The fourth boss is the last boss. And then when you go in the other direction, you only have 2 bosses. And once you beat the second boss, which I finally did, that bitch went down. It basically pops up. Thank you for playing the game. There's many adventures left to be had. But let's just say that you ran into some trouble on your way to your ascension of Mount Olympus, and you end up back in the crossroads. So, yep. Well, I mean, you can already see some of the placeholders have swapped out. All of the as you play through the game, one thing, be it Hades 1 or Hades 2, when you get the nectar of the gods, make sure that you at least give one bottle of nectar to everybody that you can give nectar to.
So that is
because
part
they'll
of
give
being in
you a
early
little
access.
keepsake.
Is there's still
They'll
more
help
to come.
help you along your journey. Supergiant Games has switched out. I think they've now got the final art for all of those keepsakes. I'm still missing one keepsake. I'm not exactly sure who the hell I missed. But yeah, the invisible god. No, I think it's probably one of the side quests, which I don't think I can actually complete. Yeah, but and of course, just like Hades, the first Hades and the second Hades, you have several different weapons that you get to use.
Probably the invisible.
There's a little bit more, I would say, farming in this one, where you're having to like get raw materials to cast
You
spells.
can't actually do them yet.
To unlock more stuff. Instead of, I think, well, I'm trying to remember in Hades 1 if you were like really collecting a lot of stuff. I think you're just trying to gain a lot of gold. But anyways, it's a great game. I've been playing a shit ton of that. If I'm not at my computer, I'm playing Legends of Runeterra on my cell phone. And if I'm looking for something slightly different or in the middle, or I need a little bit of a change in the middle of the day, I picked up, which was heavily discounted at the time, a game called Journey to the Savage Planet, which is a first-person kind of like action-adventure shooter game. It's kind of weird. It's kind of silly. It kind of gives me sort of Metroid vibes, simply because you're unlocking these abilities. Like you gain, once you find a certain something, you can now have a grappling hook. Once you find a certain material, now you can actually hold on to the little bomb pod that you find. They won't explode in your hand if you just hold them for too long. So you're finding these like ancient altars that give you material that once you go back to your ship, you can use your 3D printer to create new stuff to allow you to not instead of just having single jump, now you got double jump or triple jump, or you got a jetpack now.
I wish I could create a double jump out of my 3D printer.
That would be awesome. Random side note, I had my garage door broke recently, and when the guy came to repair it, he saw my my kid's sword from Final Fantasy VII, and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta go. My new 3D printer's coming tomorrow.
I wish I could create a double jump out of my 3D
print
printer.
a Buster sword when I get home." I'm like, "You go, dude." Anyways. All right. One more thing real quick. The interviews from MomoCon. The videos did not get eaten up, but unless you enjoy myself and the person I'm interviewing screaming over the sound, the loud noises of MomoCon, you're not going to enjoy the interviews. So I think I'm going to have to redo them. Because, I mean, yes, the audio is fine. It's not like we were spiking it, but you could definitely tell that we're trying to yell at each other so that we could have a conversation. So it's just that the quality is not good, and I think I could do better on content as well. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to redo those interviews virtually and make them a little bit more custom to each of their projects. So they'll probably as a result, they'll probably be a little bit longer. So I don't know when, but be on the lookout for that in the future.
Makes sense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything come our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.